Tesla CEO Elon Musk rallying shareholders this week, saying that the company is on track to hit its production goals. But analysts remain divided. Cathie Wood is the CEO of ARK Invest, and she is very bullish on Tesla. In fact, you've got a $4,000 price target, Cathie. Why is it that this is your top holding in your fund?
Well, it's the most misunderstood stock, I believe, out there, much like Amazon was in the day. You know, there was a whack-a-mole moment or a 4-year period in Amazon's life. Today, in hindsight, it looks obvious what was going to happen to retail. We think the same will be true. This is a 4 to 5 year big trading range. Whack-a-mole, couldn't do production, couldn't do the demand wasn't there, don't have enough cash. Every time they fix something that the market is worried about, the bears go on to something else. This is very reminiscent of Amazon.
Your $4,000 price target, that's not a 12-month price target, right?
No, our time horizon is a 5-year time horizon, and that's a big difference between the way we're looking at the world and the way most analysts are. They have a 1 to 2 year time horizon.
There's another analyst on the street who says that this is a binary situation. You could basically go much higher from here, or you could go to $10, I think was his price target on it, because a lot's going to depend on whether they can make it through the financing needs over the next year or two.
Yeah, we've assumed in our bear case, which is $560 in 5 years, $10 billion of dilution. You know, the markets are open. If we were talking about 08, 09, when the markets were shut down, that might be one thing. But the markets are open. And I think as they ramp production and as demand continues to surprise on the high side of expectations. First quarter was an anomaly because they were shipping to China and Europe. Now, the Chinese website, their website in China, went down because demand was so strong.
Although Elon himself said this week that while they don't have a demand problem, the problem or the hurdle that has to be reached at this point is that no one can afford their cars. That you know, its price is the big issue, because you no longer, at least in the United States, have any of these incentives that used to be offered to the company.
So our analysis excludes subsidies and always has. The total cost of ownership today of a Model 3 is lower than a Toyota Camry, if you give us this 5-year time horizon. And most people hold their cars for 5 years. Total cost of, and I think more and more consumers are starting to do this arithmetic. I mean, I haven't gone to the gas station since I bought my Model 3 in September of last year. That's a huge change in my behavior. Since I was 16, I went once a week. So
here's what, at times I had thought about signing up to get on a list to try and get one of these Teslas. Here's what's held me back. Yes. The idea that there's not a dealership that I can take it to if it breaks. The idea that anything happens kind of down the road, it's on me. Or the idea that maybe I want to drive further. Now, he had said that they're going to have a 400-mile charge potentially coming up very soon. Yes. But the idea of not being able to get something fixed when it breaks, where do you take your car?
Well, first of all, in terms of their service issues, and this is very typical of
service issues, there is no service.
Well, no, yeah, there is. Actually, they anticipate problems and do over-the-air software updates before you even see them. To me, that is a much better solution than spending a day trying to get my car in and out of a dealer to get its service.
If it can be fixed over there.
And the other thing they're doing is they're setting up service vans so that they can come to your office or your home to fix the car. So it's a much better model than we have right now. Yeah, they have to perfect it, but I think they're absolutely doing the right thing.
I mean, you have time with your 5-year, you know, $4,000 target. It's hard to, you know, pin you down on something like that when you can go out 5 years. I mean, if you discount it into eternity, you could probably get to $1 million. But hopefully there is an afterlife. But in terms of last time you were on, you had some, what sounded to me, some crazy forecasts about autonomous taxis. They're going to be around like next month, according to you, right?
Yeah.
Or
no, in 2 years.
In 2 years,
yes.
Fully autonomous taxis replace everything.
Well, it's going to take time, and we need
2 years?
Regulators.
See, we're going to know. We're going to know 2 years whether this is true or not.
Oh, yes.
5 year, we don't know 4,000. But
if you were to drive in the Model S, you know, as it's moving towards more and more autonomy, you would be really surprised. Changing lanes, getting off highways, even at intersections now. So Tasha, our analyst, went to drive in one of these test or pilot models, and was shocked that there were construction sites. They were able to maneuver around them without an engineer taking the wheel. So I think they're well in this way.
To assume that regulators are going to allow this when you're reading headlines today about New York City putting additional restrictions on Uber and Lyft cars and where they can drive and when.
So regulators are very data-driven. There are 35 to 40,000.
Regulators are very behind the time on anything.
35 to 40,000 lives lost every year here in the United States. 1.25 million worldwide.
I agree with you on this point.
They are already saying that if you own a Tesla, you are 40% less likely to get into an accident. That's the regulator saying it.
What regulator?
I think it was the National Highway and Transportation Safety Board. After the first fatality, that was their analysis.
That was their analysis?
Yes. And I want to go back to exponential growth, which is what we're talking about here. If you look at the first quarter numbers, and they were lower than expected because the deliveries to China and Europe were taking some time just to get there. The Model 3 sold 50,000 units. The Bolt sold 5,000. A year ago, the Bolt sold 5,000, so that was flat year over year. The Model S last year was at a higher base than the Bolt, 8,600, and was up sixfold to 50,000. They're doing something right. They're doing something right. People love these cars.